I actually don't think this is a horror game. I think this is just kind of like a... That's a lot louder in my ears than it is for you, just so you know. So, from what I understand, this is a dark mystery game. A noir game, if you will. We got film grain, we got chromatic aberration. I think we should just leave with the base stats, shouldn't we? We can get away with that massive volume being a little low. A little lower. A little lower. Alright, well, I guess let's just get into it, right?
Crime never sleeps, so I guess I won't either. Not while the syndicate continues to spread. I've got work to do.
Welcome back, Detective. As you may have heard, the city is rampant with crime. We got 2 suspects already? The syndicate's roots have grown ever more expansive, and corruption festers like never before. I fear that if we don't act now, we won't have another chance. I must say, you've been out of the game for a while. Let me catch you up to speed. No need, I am absolutely a master at this kind of thing. On the left, you can see the number of innocent, meddler, underling, and traitor roles you can expect to see on the board. Okay. Innocent and meddler roles are good. Meddler is usually not a good thing, but I guess in this scenario it's just kind of like good, but like on a badder end, kind of like in terms of like a spectrum of it. Underling and traitor roles are evil. All evil must be arrested before you can move on to your next case. On the right here, you can find the suspect list, which includes all the roles that can be found in this case. We call these suspected roles. So priest and mobster. The priest is innocent. It's an innocent. So when investigated, I announce I am the priest. When I am lying or tainted, I will announce something else. Oh, a condition. Okay, this is cool. So that character has a condition. And then mobster, the underling. I lie and pretend to be a in-play role. Okay, so if anyone says I am the priest, they're probably telling the truth. If they say anything other than that, they might be lying. Because it says pretend to be an in-play role. He might lie about being the priest. Okay, so... Oh. Okay, wait, there's more to it. When investigated, I announce I will announce something else. I am considered a self-confirm role. When I am lying or tainted, I announce one of the following statements. I am the priest. I am the monk. I don't feel so good. Am I a good priest? Am I a holy priest? Have you come to pray? Okay, so literally, if they say anything other than I am the priest, we suss them out immediately. We suss them out almost instantaneously. Keywords: investigate, opening a door to see who is behind it. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's not read all that right now. We self-confirm a role that can prove its own innocence. Multiple self-confirm roles cannot be in play at once. Okay, so only one person can self-confirm. Oh, and then tainted means that someone is forcing them to lie. Okay, hold on. Let's get into the... Okay. Gotcha. Roles can only appear once on the board. However, certain roles may hide their true identity and pretend to be other roles. Gotcha. You can hover over a suspect to get a description of what each role does. If you need more details, simply click on them. Okay. Okay, that's enough dilly-dallying. Here, there's work to be done. Cases to be solved. Start by investigating one of the homes on the board. Hold the left mouse button on a house to reveal who lives there. So let's do the more sus-looking house. The priest lives here, and he says, I am the priest. So that's probably the actual priest. So if I investigate this house, it says, have you come to pray? 2 priests, that's impossible. Nope, number 2 is the mobster. Number 2 is the mobster. Okay. Luckily for us, the mobster is a liar, meaning the information they give will be false. Arrest the imposter and finish this. Get the fuck out of here, mobster. I know you. Case solved in 5 hours. Damn, it took me 5 hours.
Ugh. Guess I got a little faster. I gotta get a little faster.
Here's your new case detect. Who's been drawing everywhere? Well, you'd better clean up before you start. Use this rubber to erase this mess. Okay, so pick up the rubber and then, yep. What would be the point of erasing? Oh, I guess like they're gonna teach us that we can write things. So if we like, for the detectives, should you wish to make your own notes, yep, make good use of the pen and the pins on the left. Okay. Scroll with the mouse or hold the middle mouse button down to change the color. Pins can be dragged onto the board. Okay. Can be recolored the same as the pen. Try not to make too much of a mess, detective. Let's get back to it, shall we? This case is a little more complex than the last one. Yeah, I see we have fucking... What is that, 6 people? There are quite a few new suspects. Make sure to have a look at them before making any rash decisions. And be careful, detective. Every time you arrest a good role, your reputation will drop considerably. Well, then it's a good thing I'm never going to arrest a good role, because I am too good at this. Your reputation drops too low. Well, I'm afraid I'd have to let you go. You're not gonna do that. Trust me, you're not gonna do that. No pressure. I feel no pressure because I'm not gonna get arrested because I'm that bad. So I do notice that there is 5 locations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 6. So one of these people don't have a house. So reporter, when investigated, I announce how many steps I need to take to reach the closest evil role. When investigated, I announce how many of my adjacent neighbors are evil. Okay, so that's the priest. We know that. Mailman. When investigated, I announce in play role and one not in play role, specifying which is which. Okay, mobster will lie to be someone else. Inspector. I obscure one non-meddler role, hiding its name. Appearance and information. Numbers are not obscured. Numbers are not obscured. And then he also lies. So what is obscure? So what's the keyword obscure? Obscured role's icon, name, and information is hidden except for number, which stays visible. Okay, so I guess let's start. What's up? The mailman? The priest lives in town. I've never heard of the therapist. So they give 2 information, right? Mailman, when investigated, I announce 1 in-play role and 1 not in play. So he says I do not know the therapist. I've never heard of the therapist. So the therapist is the odd one out as the possibly not real role. So if we reveal a therapist and they don't announce how many of my neighbors, of my adjacent neighbors are evil, then that confirms what the mailman said. Reporter, I'm 2 steps away from the closest evil. 1, 2. So this one is theoretically an evil, right? I have 3 evil clients. So how many of my adjacent neighbors are evil? I feel like this is the lie. At 3 evil clients. Because what is adjacent? Does a diagonal count as adjacent? Hold on. I need to... Adjacent. Sometimes something which is adjacent is directly north, east, south, or west. Okay, so that's a straight up lie. Because you don't even have 3 people around you. So this is a bad guy. This is probably a bad guy. Right? Okay, that was a specter. Gotcha. So then who's in here? Okay, so this is... The specter hides someone else's information, right? That's what it is? So we got 2... Wait. No. The priest lives in town. I've never heard of the therapist, right? So that gave away the therapist. I'm 2 steps away from the closest evil. This person is probably lying because their closest evil is right here. Unless it does not count the one I already found. So the specter is the... I obscure one non-meddler role, hiding its name, appearance, and information. Okay, so let me look more into this. I can obscure myself. When I'm tainted, I do not obscure my target. Okay. So I don't think they're obscured because we found them already. So let's do a deeper dive on the reporters. When I am lying or tainted, I announce a random number of steps between 1 and 4 that is incorrect. Which means this is incorrect. Unless they're counting this one. But this one... 2 steps away from the closest evil. To this... I'm taking a chance, but I'm guessing it's this one. Okay, bet. Alright, that took me 12 hours. Jesus Christ. Okay, so mathematician. When investigated, I announced the sum of all evil roles addressed. Oh, evil role addresses. So addresses are the numbers, right? Each role in play has an address. This is shown on the door or is beside their icon. So the number. When I am in lying or tainted, I announce a sum that is either slightly higher or slightly lower than the true sum. So... Okay, so 1... Detective, do you see the blue hand symbol? It means they can help us. The blue hand shows that the role has a one-time ability. These are useful skills that you can choose to use whenever you want. Make sure to read what they do before jumping in. It's always useful to know what to expect. Okay. So Taylor, they have an ability. Pick 2 roles. I announce if they are the same alignment. I can target myself in an ability once. I can target dead, uninvestigated, and arrested roles. When I am lying or tainted, I will announce the opposite results to what is truthful. Okay. Let's reveal everyone. So a second Taylor. 2 Taylors. One of them must be the mobster. Their ability will still work, but as they are a liar, the information they will give will be incorrect. Use abilities wisely, and you'll quickly become one of the best detectives in this precinct. So, if it's literally their address numbers added up, right? That means that the sum would be 10, because it's 3 plus 7. Okay, mailman. The tailor lives in town. I've never heard of the mathematician. Okay, the priest is real. So this is the priest. The mobster is pretending to be someone else. Never heard of the mathematician. So the mathematician is currently not in the map, which is fine because we have 2 tailors. Okay, so then can we select 2 roles? Okay. The tailor lives in town. Okay. And boom. Roll 4 and 3 are not the same alignment. What is your say of it? Roll 4 and 3 are the same alignment. Okay. I know for sure these 2 are telling the truth, which means this guy's telling me the truth, which means this is the faker. Absolutely goated. Yo, I'm just like a fucking I'm a fucking master. Fucking detective. I don't want to fucking tell you. This new case of yours is not an easy one. Yeah, I'm gonna need the fucking look. See how there's a meddler and a traitor in play? Meddlers are good if you can believe that. They will often cause you a lot of trouble. Okay, so they're just trolls. Traitors, on the other hand, are pure evil. They will often make solving the case much harder. Good luck, detective. So what's the vigilante about? Okay, hold on. I guess let's reveal first before we read all these. First person, mathematician. I have calculated the number 4. What? You're adding up all these numbers to 4? You're probably already wrong. You're already wrong, buddy. What's going on? Wait, does the mathematician report incorrectly when tainted? Okay, yep. Tainted means that they are probably getting fucked with. Okay, so the traitor, you lose twice as much reputation as normal. Others treat your reputation status as poor. I lie and pretend to be the suspected role. Okay. Priest. I am the priest. Okay, so this one's telling the truth. Priest is for sure here. Okay, the forecast today, 246. The weatherman. When investigated, I announced 3 addresses. One address leads to an innocent, one leads to a meddler, and one leads to an underling or traitor. Okay, so when I am lying, I announced 3 addresses. All addresses are either innocent or meddler roles. Okay, so that's what... Okay, so that's what that means. So they said 246. So let's... Priest, I am the monk. So 4 is a liar. 2 is telling the truth, 4 is a liar. What about 6? The surgeon. What does the surgeon do? On the 12th hour, I might kill an innocent role. Okay, so we gotta be a little fast about it. I kill for the percent of the time when I'm lying or tainted, I never kill. Well, it's about to hit 12. The vigilante. Pick a role. If the selected role is evil, I kill them. Otherwise, nothing happens. So you said 246, and the weatherman's thing is innocent, meddler, or underling. So I think the weatherman's telling the truth because innocent, probably evil, probably underling, or a meddler. This one is also lying. So can I use it to kill the mathematician? Dead. Justice came for number 1. Okay, so this is for sure. This was for sure the bad guy. So that means that the traitor is this one. Mobster. Okay, gotcha. So that wasn't the traitor. So this one was probably the traitor. This was probably the critic. And then we just found the mobster. Reveal all. Yep. I pretended to be the mathematician. Yeah. I had them flipped, but I knew that these two were wrong. Alright. Detective, this new case is interesting. Have a look at the suspect list. We have a poisoner in play. Poisoners are quite tricky to deal with as they taint an adjacent role. Roles that are tainted will be forced to lie even if they are good. It's key. I was wondering who was going to do the tainting. It's key to remember that a role that it lies is not always evil. A tainted role will still read as good to others. Okay, so try to use all the information to pick this mess apart. Okay. So it's a surrounding neighbor. I lie and pretend to be. So, okay, when you say surrounding, is a role that's surrounding another role. In other words, it is anywhere within the 8 tiles around that role. Okay, so yeah. So surrounding is for sure like any of the 8. Adjacent is only like cardinal directions. I'm one step away from the closest evil. Okay. I was the priest. So he's telling the truth. This is the bad guy. Therapist. I have 0 evil clients. Therapist. When investigated, I announce how many of my adjacents are evil. This guy's being forced to lie. This is the bad guy. That was actually... Wait, no, he's the bad guy. Because he's forcing the priest to lie, and he said I have 0 evil clients. Oh, I got my ankles fucking... Bloodhound. What does a bloodhound do? When investigated, I announce the direction of the nearest evil roll from me that is in my column or roll. If the closest evil rolls are the same distance away from me, I start barking. If I find no evil, I sniff. Damn, I should have revealed all the rolls, to be honest, because that would have told me. Yep. Okay. So let's try not to shoot from the. Oh my god, that's a lot of people. Another day, another case, right, detective? Once again, the syndicate has given us a challenge. Have a look at the barkeep. They are special as they will transform an innocent roll into the drunkard. Not only is this very irresponsible, but it also messes with our reports. The ratio on the left can be outdated when these transformations occur. No. Okay, so the barkeep goes drunkard. I lie and pretend to be a good roll. To be a good... Not... Okay, so a good roll not in play. Okay. So... Therapist says I have 3 evil clients. Bloodhound points west. So this guy is lying. Right? So if we... Mobster. Okay, so that was the mobster. So mobster was lying. So when the... What's the therapist? When I am lying or tainted, I announce a number between 0. Okay, so it's not about. Okay, so it's completely. This gives me nothing. Okay, so Taylor. Gotcha. Therapist. I have 2 evil clients. So this one's probably true, which means that one of these 3 is wrong. Mathematician, I've calculated the number 7. Probably this guy, right? Let's see. Reporter, I'm 2 steps away from the closest evil. Which means the therapist. He's the only one who's 2 steps away, so that this therapist is also lying. The scoundrel. I cannot die or be arrested unless I am the last evil. Wait a minute, then that means that this reporter is lying. So this one's telling the truth because it's 1 and 2 evil clients. Taylor. But the meddler. Taylor. This one is telling the truth. I know that for sure. And this one's telling the truth. So you're also telling the truth. Which means that the therapist is adjacent, right? Adjacent. I've calculated number 7. So what is my petition? It's like the sum of all evil rolls. All evil rolls. Okay, gotcha. So you say 7. Yeah, but 1 and 7 immediately is like showing that this is incorrect. One of these 2 is lying. This one is immediately confirmed lying as much as I can tell. Because I'm 2 steps away from the closest evil, but scoundrel is right next to you. So you're lying? Okay, that was the barkeep. Gotcha. Big. I've calculated number 7. Buddy, are you sure? Because 1, 6, 7? What the fuck? Another poisoner in these parts. The syndicate really is relentless. And a con man. Remember, a lying roll is not always evil, and an evil roll is not always lying. Good luck, detective. So what does a con man do? I pretend to be an in-play role. When I am arrested, I am not revealed. Oh, that's interesting. Bounty hunter. I pick and taint an innocent role. When investigated, I announce 3 addresses, one of which belongs to my target. Okay. 2, 3, 4. So we already got the bounty hunter. Okay, so that's the mathematician, the therapist, who's immediately lying, because that would mean that this is an evil client and it's not evil. So I pick and taint the roll. So the bounty hunter probably picked 3. Because both of these mathematicians are saying 8. So this is this is probably a real number. I'm 3 steps away from the closest evil. This one's probably lying. And what are you? Bloodhound points south. This one's also lying. So you're gone. And then you're gone? Oh, he's actually telling... 3 steps away from the closest evil. 1, 2, like 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Like 1, 2? Like, what do you mean 3 steps away from the closest evil? This is interesting. I mean, because then this one's lying, right? But this bounty... You taint an innocent roll, which means that... That means a person you tainted have to be innocent. If you tainted 2 or 4, one of these numbers would have been different. And you didn't because they're both the same. And that was 6, right? You calculated the number to be 8. I announced that sum of all evil rolls addresses. Let me look deeper into this. So this one's actually a decently tough one. So you targeted the therapist, which means the therapist has to be innocent. But these 2 are also innocent. So... what do I do here? I announce how many of my adjacent neighbors are evil. You're telling the truth. I mean, you're telling a lie, but it's probably because you were targeted. Unless both of these guys are lying. When investigated, I announce the sum of all evil rolls addresses. And you said 8. We know this one is 6. So 6 plus 2? Case solved. Reveal all. Oh wow, so he pretended to be the mathematician but actually said the right number. Oh, I should have clicked on him to read that unlike other underlings rolls, I do not lie. I really gotta do better at reading everything and clicking on them. Okay, that was my mistake. It's because I'm not clicking and reading all the information that they're giving me. Detective, you may have noticed throughout your cases that each time you investigate or arrest a roll, time moves forward. Investigating a roll takes 2 hours, while arresting a roll takes only 1. Abilities do not take any time to use. Up until now, it hasn't been very important, but I must warn you. In many neighborhoods, there's still danger lurking. Rolls might change the state of the board as time progresses. Sometimes it's best to arrest quickly. Plus, we're not paying you overtime. Fair enough. So we got clock tower and crime scene. So what does a clockmaker do? We're gonna read it all. When investigated, I announce what time the clock tower will ring. I add a clock tower to the board when I am suspected. I am considered a self-confirmed roll. When I am lying or tainted, I announce a time during which the clock tower will not ring. Gotcha. So the surgeon. Okay, on the 12th hour, might kill an instant roll. Milkman. After 24 hours, I become evil without others noticing. I am the milkman. My milk is delicious. When I am lying, I do not change my alignment after the 24th hour. Okay, so that's one's pretty simple. Okay, and then when that one's lying, they don't kill. So, first door, the surgeon. Okay, so the surgeon's right here. The bloodhound sniffs. So what does sniff mean? If I find no evil, I sniff. I announce the direction of the nearest evil roll from me that is in my column or row. So that means that the... Okay, that makes sense, because everything else is outside of his column and row. So this dog is real. Alright. The clock will ring from 6th hour to 7th hour. Well, it's currently 6th hour, and it hasn't rung yet. Let's see if that becomes true. Okay. Will ring from 10th hour to 11th hour. So this one's probably already lying, because that passed, and it didn't happen. Gotcha. Look at that. Detective, this case might cause you trouble. As you can see, a con man is in play. The con man can make you question your sanity. They are evil, but they do not lie. Remember, an evil role is not always lying. Yeah, that happened to me earlier. So, okay, copycat. I pretend to be a good role in play. That's it. That's all you do. Okay. I have one evil client. The number is 8 of the calculated people, so... 431. No, because it has to be 2 numbers, so 6 and 2. So you're self-reporting if that's true. You're right, because no other numbers to 8. 7 and 1, but there's no 7. So 6 and 2. 5 and 3 could also be it. What is 3? The vigilante. What about 5? Another vigilante. 6. I have 3 evil clients. So this one is lying because you're not even near. You're not even. Wait, therapist is adjacent, right? You're not even adjacent to 3 people, right? Okay, so that's the mobster. And then the con man pretends to be a good role, which means it's one of the vigilantes. Or the copycat could also be the number to be 8. So this is probably the fake one, right? Because you're self-reporting. Yes. Blessed my brain. Gotcha, boy.
Crime never sleeps, so I guess I won't either. Not while the syndicate continues to spread. I've got work to do.
Don't tell me that's the end of the demo, though. Oh, never mind. Easy, normal, normal. So we have 2 different cases we can choose from. 5 innocent in town, copycat suspect, 2 underlings in town, priest suspect. Unsolved plus 1 reputation. Alright, let's do case 2. Holy mother of pearl. Who's the fall guy? Other roles consider me as an evil underling. Other roles cannot pretend to be me. Evil underling. So you're not actually evil, but other roles will consider you evil. I trick people who specifically check my alignment or classification. Other information they might check about me, such as my role, name, and address, are correct. When I am tainted, I appear as a good meddler role. Okay, so that's gonna be tough to guess. The fall guy lives in town. I've never heard of the priest. If this is a true guy, then this is gonna be scary. The copycat lives in town. I've never heard of the fall guy. Okay, one of you two is lying. What's the wife? Innocent. I pick an innocent partner. When investigated, I announce their address. I am adjacent to my innocent partner. When I am lying or tainted, I pick an underling partner instead, and I may not be adjacent to them. When the mistress is in play, and I am not lying or tainted, I will announce I will never forgive my partner. If I am the only evil role, I will announce I love myself. Okay. That is an interesting one. So the mistress is in play. I am surrounding the wife's partner unless the wife is lying or tainted. I make the wife jealous. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. When I am tainted, I do not make wife jealous. Okay. I would never forgive my partner. So mistress is in play. Gotcha. Okay, so whoever the wife's partner is, the mistress is surrounding them. So mistress might be... This might be partner. Bark, bark, bark. So bloodhound, when they bark, if the closest evil rolls are the same distance away from me, I start barking. So it could be 1 and 2. Or 1 and 2. No, because one of these mailmen is wrong, right? Copycat lives in town. I never heard of the fall guy. So, where's the priest? Points east. Okay. The mobster lives in town. I've never heard of the wife. The wife, I'm pretty sure, is straight up true, right? When I'm lying or tainted, I pick an underling partner instead, and I may not be adjacent to them. When a mistress is in play, I am not lying or tainted, I will announce I will never forgive my partner. And I am not lying or tainted. I will never forgive my partner. I've never heard of the wife. The mailman is lying here. So this bloodhound is lying too, right? Or is at least pretending to be a role. Copycat, I pretend to be a good role. But it doesn't say that they get it wrong if they're pretending to be a good role. So this is straight up wrong. Unless... Oh my god. Okay, let's just reveal the last guy. Weatherman. The forecast today is 145. So that's like innocent, meddler, and traitor. So 145. You didn't mention 6, and 6 is the confirmed bad people roll. Unless you're saying that 5... Does the mistress pretend to be someone else? Pretend to be a suspected role. The fall guy lives in town. I've never heard of the priest. The priest actually was not in town. So this guy actually was not lying. So then that means this guy's lying. I've never heard of the fall guy. Wait, so the weatherman, the mailman, do they? I investigated and announced in play. And one not in play role specifying which is which. Okay, so hear me out. If they say that the one is not in play, fall guy, the copycat lives in this town, the fall guy. So the copycat is probably not in this town, but the fall guy is. If... Oh, but the innocent roles are gonna think that the fall guy is innocent. I mean, is evil, I should say. But this guy said, I've never heard of the priest. Wait, okay, so wait. On the board or in play? Mailman. Not in play. In play, the role is on the board. So the priest is actually not in play. It's on this list, but it's not on the board. So this mailman is telling the truth. This mailman, by contradicting this one, is like lying. But the problem is that they could be a fall guy. Can I pretend? Other roles cannot pretend to be me. Okay. Other roles consider me an evil underling. Other roles cannot pretend to be me. I check people who specify, check my alignment, information. They might check about me, such as my role and name and address are correct. So the alignment or classification is what's gonna be incorrect, but their name and address is true. Oh, this is tough. So this guy might be lying, or this guy might be lying. 1, 4, and 5. This one's telling the truth, so that's the truth for this. 4 and 5. So one of these is a copycat, or no, one of these is a fall guy, and the other one is the mistress. Let me read the mistress again. So the wife's partner, right? Let me read about the wife's partner. Okay, so we knew the wife is not tainted. When I have a mistress in play and I am not tainted or lying, I will announce I never forgive my partner. So we know that the wife is not tainted. I pick an innocent partner. When investigated, I announce their address. I am adjacent to my innocent partner. Right? I am surrounding the wife's partner unless the wife is lying or tainted. So the mistress is next to the wife's partner. I make the wife jealous. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. Okay. A suspected role is a role that's on a suspect list. Only suspected roles can be in play. Okay, so you're lying about being one of these roles. The wife is not lying, so you're next to the wife's partner. And this guy, the mobster, lives in town. Have never heard of the wife. Okay. Oh, this is so fucking tough. So this one says that it was equal distance, right? If he's telling the truth... No, this guy's lying. That was the copycat, damn it. So then, yeah, get rid of you. Wait, what? So the fault... What? Wait a minute. Okay, how did this shape out? Okay. So I need to make heads or tails of this, right? How did... I need to understand this. The mistress was here. So that dog was lying. So this dog was telling the truth. It was gonna be one of these two. So, you know what's the problem, actually? When I did the... Hold on. When I did the weatherman scan, I think I interpreted that they were gonna be in order. For some reason. Because I read it as innocent meddler underling. But you know what I should have realized? I should have realized that the second I can clear that the weatherman was not lying, that 1, 4, and 5 should have been the first things I looked at. And 4 and 5 had a copy in it. So one of those could have been innocent. Like that's what I should have like focused more on. Okay. I want to try another. I feel like 9 addresses in town. Oh boy, let's do it. Okay. This is going to be our redemption arc. So we have two underlings, 1 meddler, no traitors. Spectre. So that's the... I obscure 1 non-meddler role, hiding in its name, appearance, and information. Okay. Any other new... The Skeptic. When I investigated, I announced 1 address and its alignment. If your reputation is poor, I lose faith in you. Let's hope we do not reveal the Skeptic yet. I cannot target myself with my information. When I am lying or tainted, regardless of your reputation, I announce 1 address and it's in the opposite of its actual alignment. Okay. We do have a clock in town. I have 1 evil client, which means that this one might be the evil client. That's the obscured one, right? So I obscure 1 non-meddler role. So non-meddler could mean underling or innocent. Hiding its name or appearance. Hold on. Okay. I was hearing the static coming into the thing. I was trying to make sure I was trying to get it to fuck off. Okay. So this could be a bad guy. This could be a good guy. This one could be telling the truth. Therapist, when they're lying, is just random number, right? Yeah, random number. I am the priest. So he's telling the truth. I will never forgive my partner. There's no mistress in play. Oh, there is a mistress. I'm dumb. So wife and priest are both telling the truth, right? We know that. The forecast today is 1, 6, and 9. So yourself? 1, 6, and 9. So if you're telling... Let's reveal 6. We have to. The wife. I love number 2. Okay. What time is it now? 12? 12 hour? Which means that if we find the clockmaker, they need to say 12. They need to say 11 to 12 or 12 to 1, I think. Okay. This wife is lying. So if this weatherman is telling the truth, then that means that it's innocent, evil, lying role. Which means that this guy is not bad, probably. We at least know that this one's bad. That's the Spectre. So, okay, that's confirming that this one's bad. The forecast today is 169. Okay, so copycat. So that means that one of these is probably actually telling the truth. But if this is 169, then that would mean telling the truth, evil, copycat. So it sucks because that means that both weathermen are telling the truth technically. Spectre is going to be help for us if we reveal Spectre. Vigilante. You know what? King shit. Because look, if the vigilante shoots them, right, and they're actually evil, that means this therapist is telling the truth. And that one was lying. Good thing we didn't roll skeptic, actually, but y'all see my brain meats? Y'all see the brain meats? How many more? Okay, let's do a hard one. Partner number 8 is the male. Okay, hold on. You're throwing new shit at me. So what is partner? I announced the address. Okay, hold on. I announced the address and corresponding identity of an uninvestigated role. Starts investigated. I start investigated even when I am lying or tainted. When I am lying or tainted, I pick a random uninvestigated address and announce they are a random not in play role. I will say hi partner if I trigger and all roles are investigated regardless if I am lying or tainted. Okay, so he's not gonna say hi partner because I revealed the. Okay, I will say hi partner if I trigger and all roles are investigated. So 8 is mailman. The milkman lives in town. I've never heard of the bloodhound. If we roll a bloodhound, it's possible liar. Milkman is in town, so they were not lying about that. What scoundrel? I cannot die or be arrested unless I... Okay, gotcha. Oh, we got 2 milkmen because copycat. Okay. Well, number 8 was the mailman. Wait, can he lie? I start investigating when I am lying or tainted. When I am lying or tainted, I pick a random uninvestigated address and announce that they are a random not in play role. Not in play role. It is a role, so that means this cop is telling the truth. That means mailman is telling the truth. So if we roll a bloodhound, it's a fake. Vigilante. I can't use the vigilante to shoot one of the milkman because if it's a copycat, it's a waste of a. He won't shoot. Actually, no, it doesn't. He just won't shoot, right? Hold on. The vigilante? No, I meant to click the vigilante. Vigilante. He just won't shoot unless it's evil, right? When I'm lying or tainted, I always miss. Pick a role. If the selected role is evil, I kill them. Otherwise, nothing happens. Okay, so at most nothing. We get nothing out of him. I missed 10. I didn't tell you to. Oh, did it just fucking auto pick himself? That's a waste of a bullet. Okay, so we're not low. Okay, so what skeptic is? When investigating, I announce one address and its alignment. If your reputation status is poor, I lose faith in you. I cannot target myself with my information. When I am lying or tainted regardless of your reputation, I announce one address and the opposite of its actual alignment. So you said 9 is evil. Can the vigilante target itself? I can target myself for my ability. Okay. Shoot yourself. I missed 9. So that means that this one might be lying. Seven is evil. See, now you just introduced a layer of bullshit that makes us harder. Because if if 7 is evil, then that means that this one lied about 9 being evil, which would align with the fact that when they tried to shoot themselves, it didn't work. But there's no way there's 2 vigilantes. So if they're lying, they always miss. So, and the fact that both of these people missed does not help. What are you? A scoundrel. Okay, so I know for a fact you're evil. And so okay, so Spectre is for sure in here. Oh man, this is a fucking mess. I think the vigilante, this one accidentally shooting itself, was a massive misplay. Milkmen don't do anything, right? After 24 hours, I become evil without others noticing. When I am lying or tainted, I do not change my alignment after the 24th hour. Can I wait timeout? Okay, chat, I'm not gonna lie, this is fucking hard. When investigating, I announce one address and its alignment. If your reputation status is poor, I lose faith in you. An inspector, not meddler role, hiding its name and appearance. I lie and pretend to be a suspected role. Number 6 might be evil? Because if the 2 meddlers are actually these 2 milkmen, or unless, well, the mistress is, I don't think the mistress is in, right? Because there's no wife. We know where the scoundrel is, so we just need to know about Mobster and Spectre. We know there's a Spectre for sure. We know there's a scoundrel. So these 2 are confirmed. There's no mistress because there's no wife. And so that means that there's a mobster. We know for sure there's at least 1 milkman here. And we don't know what this is. The skeptics already lost faith in us, so we might as well just kind of... That was the wife. So the mistress is in play. Unfortunately, because of the Spectre, we won't know which one of these. So, this one says 7 is evil, this one says 9 is evil. This, I'm not gonna lie, it's tough. The only thing I know for certain is these 3. Scoundrel is for sure the scoundrel, and the partner knew that Mailman was 8. We never rolled the bloodhound, so it's not like they can sniff out the bloodhound. This one accidentally shot itself. I needed this so I can shoot 7. Fuck it. I mean, we kind of low rolled with the bullets, so let's just kind of like, you're fired. Reveal all. Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I mean, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that I accidentally clicked on this and it shot himself is like, oh my god. Can I retry on this one? I mean, no, obviously it's gonna fucking not give it to me, but... Alright, well, that's Dupery. I like this game a lot, actually. I like detective games, and this one was really fun. And this one's like a fair amount of hard. I will say this is a fair amount of hard. This is a fair amount of difficulty. I definitely recommend you guys give this game a chance. Check it out. It's Dupery. It's Dupery by Gilded Rune Games on Steam. All right, boys. Well, moving on to the next game.